Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone joining us from all around the world. It's a real pleasure to welcome you to today's Grenada Citizenship by Investment webinar. My name is Fatma Cakir, and I am the Managing Director of Beyond Global Partners. While some participants are still joining us, let me briefly tell you about what we are going to cover today. We will be talking about Grenada Citizenship by Investment program, one of the most popular Caribbean options. And this session will be presented by our West Africa Director, Mr. Yomi Yusuf, who is a true expert in Caribbean programs. Welcome, Yomi.
Thank you very much, Fatima, for having me. Good to see you and
Thank
welcome
you.
everybody.
Welcome. We are letting people in and already. Welcome, Lily. Welcome. We are going to start very soon. Welcome, everyone. Next, please. So let me start with a few words about our company, Beyond Global Partners, what we do, who we are. Our company is led by our visionary founder, Mr. Hakan Körtelek, a true global citizen. For nearly 20 years, we have been helping families and investors build new lives through residence and citizenship by investment programs. Thanks to our international team and global offices, we have successfully supported thousands of clients and their journey to new opportunities, and we are proud to continue doing this every day. Our headquarters, as you can see on the map, is London, and we also have offices in Canada, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Nigeria, Russia, China, United Arab Emirates, and of course, Turkey. Our professional immigration consultants work in many languages, including English, Turkish, Russian, Persian, Arabic, Chinese, and among many others. As you can see, we have offices from west to east, east to west, and everywhere. You can reach out easily. And what we do. Next, please. As Beyond Global Partners, we provide A to Z services for residency and citizenship programs for over 30 countries worldwide. Some of our most popular programs nowadays, including USA EB5 program, Golden Visas in Europe, you may know Portugal, Greece, Hungary, Italy, UK visas, global talent, innovator founder, self-sponsorship, skilled worker, Thailand elite visas, citizenship programs in Turkey, Egypt, Vanuatu, and Nauru. You can see on the map that we are covering lots of programs. And of course, today our topic is Caribbean programs, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Lucia, and of course, Grenada that we will cover today with our dear colleague Yomi. We manage all these journeys with transparency, trust, and strong coordination through our own offices and trusted global partners around the world. So today, we will focus on Grenada, guided by our respected colleague Yomi Yusuf here. Yomi is the director of our Nigeria office and has over 10 years of experience in Caribbean citizenship by investment programs. He has helped countless of families and investors from all around the world successfully obtain their Caribbean passports. So before we begin, just a small reminder for all of us that please write your questions and any comments in the chat section or Q&A section. We will answer all of them at the end of our webinar all together. And also, this webinar will be published on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it anytime again. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would like to watch again. And now, without further delay, dear Yomi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Fatima. Thank you very much to everyone who's taken their time out to attend this webinar today. As usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to enter them in your Q&A the Q&A segment, and then we can hopefully deal with them. So I'll just start by a brief introduction of the country. So Grenada is one of five Caribbean islands in the West Indies that offer citizenship or residence by investment. As you know, citizenship and residence by investment is also known as Plan B, is the industry where people from different parts of the world that have passports, that have limited mobility, can invest, so make investments in exchange for nationality or citizenship. Grenada has become very popular in recent times, and that is why we decided to focus on it today. So I'll start with the introduction. So Grenada is also known as a Spice Isle, and it's one of the most beautiful and lush islands in the West Indies. It is located in the southernmost of the West Windward Islands and is directly south of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The capital is known as St. George's, and the official language is English. It has an estimated population of about 127,000 people, and it has a density of about 33 to 340 people per kilometer. It has a blend of African, European, and other influences with a strong focus on tourism, music, and festivals. The currency is known as the Eastern Caribbean dollar, and in terms of religion, it is mainly secular, but with a Christian majority, but also have adherents of Islam with the Muslim minority. There are about 1,500 Muslims in Grenada, but it is generally a very peaceful country. The Muslims and the Christians live side by side, and we've never heard of any issues of any religious intolerance. Grenada consistently ranks amongst one of the safest countries in the region with an exceptionally low crime rate. It gained independence from Britain in 1974. It has a parliamentary democracy and members a member of the Commonwealth. Next slide, please. Like I mentioned earlier, it is one of the 5 islands in the Caribbean offering citizenship or residence by investment. I'll just briefly mention the other 4 options. The other islands are Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and St. Nevis, St. Lucia, as well as Dominica. Grenada, in terms of passport ranking, the Grenadian passport is currently ranked as 27th globally in the 2026 Passport Index. So the Passport Index is a forum that analyzes global passports on a yearly basis. So as of 2026, and we're in February right now, it is ranked as 27th globally, which means that the number of countries you can go to without requiring a visa is between 141 to 147 countries around the world. Now, I think this is one of the reasons why it has become increasingly popular, because a lot of our clients have to travel frequently for various reasons, ranging from medical reasons to like holidays or family trips or business trips. And we find that a lot of them in the past were often frustrated because they could not get a Schengen visa or a visa to the UK or any other part of the world. So another advantage with the Grenada passport is that it gives you 90 days in the whole Schengen region, all the countries within the Schengen region, and 6 months in the United Kingdom, plus visa-free access to China as well as Russia. So for people, we'll have a lot of clients especially from West Africa, who go to China for business. They do a lot of import and export, and sometimes they have to dash down to China, different parts of China, to do business. So it's very, very popular amongst the business people, the business entrepreneurs from West Africa and Nigeria. One other advantage with the Grenadian passports is that it falls under one of the E2 treaty countries, which is the countries that have a strong agreement with the United States, and it allows their citizens to apply for an E2 treaty visa. The E2 treaty visa promotes economic cooperation by encouraging investment and job creation. So Grenada, being an E2 treaty country, falls under one of those countries that's allowed to make the application to move to the United Kingdom, not to move, but to do business. So again, we have a lot of clients from West Africa who typically want to do business in the United States. The Grenada passport is a very popular option for them because it gives them that option, which is something that they cannot get on their national passport. The only condition, however, is that you have to have lived in Grenada for a period of at least 36 months prior to making the application. Next slide, please. So Grenada introduced its Citizenship by Investment program around August 2013. So as of August last year, you can say they've been in business for 12 years. Now, 12 years in the citizenship and residence by investment industry is a good sign because it signals stability. The fact that they've been able to maintain this consistency for over a decade is very, very encouraging for a lot of our clients. And although, just like the other programs in the industry, it has gone through various changes over the years, but it has remained consistent in terms of global ranking, integrity, and stability. The rules changed around August 2024, and with the donation amount, it is now in the region of $235,000, and this is to a donation made to the National Trust Fund. Because generally, the way it works in this industry is that you can either make a donation to the government or you can invest in real estate. Some clients prefer to do the donation, some people prefer to do the real estate. The advantage with the real estate option is that it is recoverable, which means that the government expects you to hold on to the asset for a minimum of 5 years, after which you can then resell. So with the real estate option, the fees are currently $275,000 for the real estate option, and it is expected that the applicant will hold onto the asset for a minimum of 5 years. But obviously, owning the asset does not necessarily mean that you purchase it and just tie it down. The asset can also be used as a rental yield for at least a minimum of 2% per annum, which can be managed by the people on ground for you should you decide to go with this option. Next slide, please. The timelines within which to apply for the Grenadian citizenship or residence by investment option, we're currently seeing timelines in the region of about 6 to 9 months in order to start from the beginning to the end. These periods may fluctuate for various reasons because I know that Grenada is very, very strict with their due diligence. So we may see slight delays here and there for various reasons, not necessarily because it's not being processed. Now, because Grenada has that integrity to protect. So sometimes you might find slight variations in terms of the timelines, only because they want to be sure that they have all the documents that you've provided, and they want to certify and confirm that documents are what they are. And the next stage is usually after the application has been approved, then the applicant has a window period of 30 days within which to either make the donation to the government or to make the donation to complete the transaction with the real estate option. The good thing about these programs is that you don't make the investment or the donation until after approval. So therefore, the clients are rest assured that their funds remain with them until the outcome of the application. Another advantage of the Grenadian Citizenship by Investment program also is that there's no language requirement, there's no physical requirement, there's no requirement for you to be physically present in Grenada, either during the processing or even after obtaining the passport. The passport stays with you and your family for the rest of your lives. After completing the transfer, the client is then issued a certificate of citizenship, which naturally means at that point in time, you've become a citizen of Grenada. And then the passport follows thereafter. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of processing fees, the fees for processing this sort of applications vary depending on the ages of the dependents. The dependents of the main applicant are usually the wife and children, and also the parents in some cases. Grenada is one of those options that allows dependents of the children between the ages of 0 to 30, and grandparents up to the age of 55, parents up to the age of 55. Obviously, the main applicant has to be minimum 18 years old if it's a single applicant. However, If the main applicant has a family, then wife and children, and also parents. Now, aside from the application fees, there's also the processing fees, which is currently stated as £3,000, $3,000 per applicant, and all dependents above the age of 17. The processing fees also for the dependents aged 0 to the age of 16 is $2,000 per applicant. Aside from the processing fees, there's also the due diligence, which is what you pay towards CIU in order for them to conduct their due diligence on the applicants. Currently, it is 5,000 per applicant, aged 18 and above, and then dependents 17 and above. In addition to those fees, there's also the passport and the oath fees, which is currently stated as $500 per applicant. And then from like 2024, they also introduced a new segment called the interview, which means that any applicant aged the age of 17 and above will be required, you know, to attend an interview. It is usually virtual, and it's not a rigorous interview. It's just that Antigua can get a flavor, an understanding of the applicant and their family members and why they've chosen Grenada, and just to get to know. It's like a KYC, a virtual KYC. So, because a lot of our clients sometimes get nervous when we talk about the interview, and we explain to them it's not like going to attend an interview for a job or anything like that, or even a visa. It's just an understanding. The CIU would like to know why you've chosen the Grenada, what you do for a living, the source of funds, which would have been declared at the time of processing, and just get an understanding of who the applicant is. And the interview fees is currently slated as $1,000 per applicant. And for the dependents, you have to be aged a minimum of 17 to be able to attend an interview. Next slide, please. So in terms of the real estate option, one of the options that we have is that is gaining a lot of traction recently is the University Town and Resort Project, which is currently visible on our screens. If you can see the screens, it's 100% buyback after the holding period of 5 years, and with the additional 2-year rental yield, which again can be managed by our people on ground, should that be of interest to you. As you can see, it looks very beautiful. It looks like a resort from here. You can see the palm trees and the swimming pool. A very popular part of the world. Next slide, please. Another option we have here for investment is the hotel resort project. Again, 100% buyback after a 5-year holding period. Please note that the minimum period for holding on to this asset is 5 years. You cannot sell below 5 years. And also after 5 years, there's no penalty if you decide you do not want to sell it. You can keep it for the rest of your life and, include it in your will for your beneficiaries should you decide that you do not want to sell it. Some clients are happy to sell it. Other clients do not sell it, they keep it. There's no requirement to sell it after 5 years. The only requirement and condition is that it is held for a minimum of 5 years. And even if you do sell it, you do not lose your citizenship, because citizenship remains with you for the rest of your life. Just in a question here, sorry to digress. Does this mean that you can apply for citizenship after completing the 5-year investment period? No, you apply for citizenship at the end of the processing period. Once your application has been processed and it has been decided and it is successful, and then you complete the transaction by making the investment, then at that stage you are issued a certificate confirming that you are a citizen of Antigua, and then the passport follows thereafter. So you don't have to wait at the end of the 5-year period to complete the investment. Does this mean that you can apply for citizenship? No, the citizenship is granted after successful application. What happens if my application is rejected, or am I able to get a refund on fees? Unfortunately, the there is no refund on the application fees because obviously you have to pay for the application fees, which is used for the processing. But the majority of the fees, which goes towards the donation or the real estate, is not paid until after the application has been granted or refused, anyways. Unfortunately, this is not like one of those applications where if it is refused, you're granted a right of appeal. These applications may be refused for various reasons that have nothing to do with you as an individual. But all these Caribbean countries have their own criteria for accepting or refusing applications, and other reasons could be maybe they've discovered something that you failed to disclose to them at the point of processing or application.
Yomi,
Next, yes, sorry,
should we move on to the next slide?
yes, please.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you so much for this great, clear, and professional presentation.
thank
Now,
you.
maybe we can look into questions again. We have some of the questions still not answered. Let's check it out, shall we?
Yes, please.
You answered already, but maybe it's better to repeat again for some people joined later on, maybe. They're asking, Murat Bey is asking, can I include my spouse, children, and there is the age limit and the parents? Like, what is the exact like numbers for the ages and how many people we can include for Grenada?
Well, so Grenada, there's no limit on the number of dependents. The main applicant, minimum age of 18 and above, so it can be from 18 years old to whatever age. Dependents, for the wife, again, there's no minimum or maximum age as long as you're legally married. For the dependents, children up to the ages of 30 who are single and not attached or in a relationship or married. For the parents, again, up to the age of 55 at least, who are still financially dependent on the main applicant or the wife. That's the general guidelines.
Thank you so much. So we have another question, which is a really good question, I guess, from Lily, Mrs. Lily. Lots of people are asking, why Grenada but not other Caribbean countries? What sets Grenada apart from other Caribbean countries? Why they should choose Grenada?
Well, that's an interesting question. Well, like I said earlier, there are 5 countries that offer citizenship, 5 countries in the Caribbean that offer citizenship and residence by investment. The other countries are Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and Antigua, St. Nevis. But one thing we have found out in recent times with Grenada is that a lot of clients are interested in doing business or businesses in the United States. And because Grenada comes under the E2 Treaty agreement with the United States, therefore it's becoming a very, very popular option amongst our clients because generally speaking, there's an interest in doing either business in Canada, the USA, or the UK. But those options aren't necessarily available with the US right now. Sorry, with Canada right now and the UK. But with the USA, the E2 treatment is the E2 treaty is available, and therefore a lot of people that have their sites on the USA, it's a no-brainer for them. And this is, I think, one of the reasons why it's become very popular.
Thank you so much, dear Yomi. I think also you are confirming Lily. Lily, as Yomi said, like Grenada is the only country, also as you said, treaty agreement E2 with USA. Yes. Also, they're asking, can they generate income from the fund if they choose fund instead of real estate?
Unfortunately, the National Transformation Fund is like a one-way street, for lack of a better word, because a lot of these countries rely on the revenue to run their economies. So therefore, the fund is like a donation that you are given to the country that is going to become your country. You donate the money to the government, and it just goes to the government, and then the government chooses to decide what to do with it, either fund a hospital or social services or anything internally. So unfortunately, the National Transformation Fund is a donation and it goes to the government. So there's no revenue to be generated from there. However, the real estate option is recoverable. You can either sell it after 5 years of holding it, or you can rely on a rental yield within that 5 year period. And like I said previously, even after 5 years, because some people fall in love with it, they decide to keep it. There's no penalty. if you decide to keep it, it remains your asset for the rest of your natural life, and you can leave it in your will for your beneficiaries.
Thank you so much, Yomi. I think it was very clear. There is
Thank you.
another question related to real estate.
Mhm.
Can I live in the property that I have purchased, or is it mandatory to rent it out? They can live in it or not?
So again, the rules are very, very flexible. If it's a share option, you have the option to live in it if you want to, or
Mhm.
you can rent it out if you wanted to. There's no requirement, there's no hard requirement for you to do anything outside normal owning an asset. When people buy property, you either keep it as part of your estate or you rent it out. So you can do anything you want. The only requirement for them is that you hold on to that asset for a minimum of 5 years. And like I said again, after 5 years, you don't even have to sell it if you don't want to. You can still keep it up, keep it in your portfolio. It's totally up to you. They're very, very flexible in terms of what you can do with your asset because it becomes your asset. It's your property.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think this is the last question. Is the project or the government is guaranteeing the buybacks? But you answered already, I guess, but maybe it's better to remind again.
Sorry, could you take that again?
The project is guaranteeing the buyback, right?
Well, the project buyback is because they're very, very, very popular projects, but it has to be government approved. But it's not the government that is guaranteeing the buyback. Now, because there's a long queue of people that are usually interested in these programs, therefore the assets will always be in demand. Like I said, Grenada has been operating since August 2012. So I mean, they've been in the industry for a long time. Therefore, there will always be a demand for the assets. If you understand what I mean, for 12 years. Sorry, I meant to say 12 years. No, yeah, they've
Yeah.
been in the industry. They've been operating for 12 years, and therefore, there will always be someone in the queue who will be looking to buy real estate as opposed to donation. So the buyback is on the basis that of the demand that we see over the years.
Thank you so much, Yumi. We have one more question.
Mhm.
The question is, do I have to renew the passport and can it be revoked?
Uh, that's an interesting question. I'll start with the second one. The passport and citizenship may be revoked in the event that that the government discovers something about you that they did not discover at the point of processing. If there was something you did not disclose to them, that which, if they knew about it, may have affected the outcome of your application because they also have their integrity to protect. So, therefore, if something was to come up for you on the internet that they did not see at the time of processing, then unfortunately, they may have to revoke it on that basis because you did not disclose it to them, which is why we always, always advise that you should disclose every single thing because it is better for them to be aware than for them to disclose, I'm sorry, to discover this after the approval or the issuance of the passport. So yes, it can be revoked in that scenario. Sorry, what was the first question again?
Like it was the, can it be revoked? As you said, if there's a reason, like if the government finds out something, it might be.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank
yes,
you.
and the passport can be renewed as well.
Yeah.
If it approaches the expiry date, yes, it can be renewed. It's just like getting a passport of any country in the world. It's the
Yeah.
same process. If it's coming up to expiry, yes, you can renew it, and you don't even have to be physically present there. We can do all that for you as well. I mean, the applications can be handled remotely. We are able to handle every step of the application from initial application processing, approval, renewal, every single stage. All you have to do is just fold your arms, and we do every single stage for you permanently.
And dear Yomi, is there any restricted nationalities or anyone can apply?
Currently, they have restricted nationalities. Well, we have some nationalities that are not necessarily allowed right now. I think Russia comes to the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Grenada has their restrictions on Russia right now. Those are the only
Okay.
um, that's the only nationality I can think of now for obvious reasons because Russia is facing a backlash across the world. Therefore, um, I think every other country around the world or every other nationality so far, except for Russia.
Okay, the questions are coming up. So there's another questions. Is there any other fees that our company charges in addition to the presented fees paid for the application that you showed, interviews, passports, and the investment amount? Apart from that, like how much approximately a person or family of four can, spend? Is there another fee?
So yes, aside from the due diligence, application fees, and processing fees, we also charge fees for the work that we do on your behalf. And we have different packages depending on the size of the family. So for a single applicant, we would usually charge in the region of 30,000 USD. For an applicant with a family of up to four, we usually charge up to 40,000. And then anything from four and above, we'll be charging about 50,000 USD.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And another question is how strict is the due diligence process?
Again, this is a part that I always say to our clients from the beginning. Antigua is very, very strict with their due diligence. And I think that the clients will appreciate this as well. They are very, very strict because they have an integrity, they have their integrity to protect. And
Yes.
therefore, they are very, very strict with the due diligence. And therefore, this is why we say to the clients to disclose everything to us from the outset so that we can determine how best to manage their applications. So they are very strict in terms of due diligence,
Thank you so much.
especially because they fall under the E2 treaty and given their relationship with the United States. If you're going to be doing business with anything in the US, I think you want to know that you are in good stead before you approach the USA. So I, I suspect this is another reason. And Antigua also does not want to lose that relationship with the United States. So therefore, they're protecting everyone's interest and integrity as well.
Thank you so much. I think this is the last question. How does the oath process go?
Well, the whole process, this is how it starts. Well, we'll start by having a consultation with the client to determine um, what options will be available or suitable for them. And the way we would determine this would be their lifestyles, their background, source of funds, source of income, and interest in Grenada. And then once we manage to narrow down the options, we then determine whether they want to go for the real estate or the donation. And then depending on either one, we'll then start with drafting agreements. Once we've agreed whichever one they want to go for, then we'll start with collecting a retainer, which is minimum of about $10,000 on account in order to begin the processing. Then we'll start with the collating of the documents for the client, which is assembling all the documents, filling out the forms, and ensuring that all the documents are processed in the way that Grenada wants to see them. Then, after this has been completed, we then send off the applications to CIU, and then we will then monitor the whole process until the approval or the outcome. Sometimes after the application has been sent off, the CIU may request additional documents from us, and then we'll relay with the client, obtain the documents, and send them to CIU, and then we'll stay in touch with all parties and keep them updated until we receive an outcome of the application. And once we receive the outcome of the application, once they get an approval, the applicant gets a letter confirming that the application has been successful. It's a very, very transparent process, and it shows the bank account and details of where the money should be transferred to. The money is transferred directly from the applicant's account to Grenada's account. And once they've received it, then Antigua then follows up by issuing the certificate and then the passport as well. And the passport can be posted to the applicant anywhere in the world.
Thank you so much, dear Yomi. Is there another point you would like to add?
I think generally being in this industry for a long time, I think the point I just wish to add is that a lot of these countries um, rely on these programs to generate revenue for their economies, and they're very, very popular amongst people that have passports that have limited mobility. But one thing I would always encourage prospects is that they should be open and honest with us once they consult us. We are on your side. It is our objective to ensure that you get the best possible outcome. So I would always advise to be honest and transparent with us. Um, there's nothing new that we haven't heard. I haven't been in this industry, but the more information you provide to us, the better we're able to present your application to ensure the best possible outcome. And that's the general advice I just always give to people. And most of our applications have been successful. I'd say we have a 99% success rate. I wouldn't say 100% because that would be misleading, but 99% is close to 100%. And the 1% is for reasons that maybe applicants did not disclose the information to us at the point, and then maybe the CIU found out, and then obviously it's a bit of a challenge at that stage to try and convince CIU that the applicant is still eligible, even though they found out this information. So just be honest and transparent with us, and then we'll do the rest. Fold your arms and leave the rest. We are the experts in the business.
Thank you so much, Yomi. So to everyone who joined us today, thank you sincerely for your interest and your time. We hope this session gave you a clear and practical understanding of Grenada Citizenship by Investment Program. And if you would like to have more personalized professional advice for Grenada or any other country, you are always welcome to visit one of our offices or contact us via email, WhatsApp, our website, Instagram, Facebook, all of our social media accounts. You can always follow us. And as Beyond Global Partners team, we would be very happy to support you at every step of your journey for you to become a world citizen. On behalf of our entire Beyond team, we wish you a wonderful and a healthy day, and we look forward to welcoming you again at our next webinar next month. Stay tuned. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much to everyone who tuned in. Thank you, Fatma. And I don't imagine that any other questions. Okay. Thank you very much. This has been a pleasure.